Your name is Frank?
Charles.
Charles. Is there no Frank in your business? Anyhow, so Charles, how do you pronounce your last name?
Bashir.
And what is it that you do? I'm taping this.
I'm an artist blacksmith.
So you're an artist blacksmith.
That's correct.
And how did you learn that craft?
Through my father.
Through your father. What's his name?
Frank.
Okay, that's...
Frank talks about father.
Okay, that's how it came about. I knew that...
Not in the public too much anymore.
Well, that's how I feel. So at what age were you starting to learn how to do all this stuff?
The blacksmithing I started learning when I was 17.
What were you doing then? Were you going after girls or something, or wasting your time on hot cars?
High school.
So you didn't start this till you were 17. And what were some of the initial things that you did when you started to learn the blacksmithing trade?
Basically, we started in the garage in 1995, actually.
But what were you doing?
Precisely.
Making tables. But what was more specifically, did you have a hammer and an anvil? And
the only thing we had was a hammer, an anvil, and a small little box forge, and we were working out of the garage. And we actually started working with Michael Boucher and Terry. They had a store on Lake Avenue called Pottery.
And how did you heat the stuff up?
Because you have a little box forge with propane.
A box forge with propane.
Yeah, a little Johnson box forge.
A Johnson box forge.
Yeah.
Well, so what were you thinking back then? At 17 years old, becoming a blacksmith? Didn't that seem a rather kind of bizarre thing? Isn't blacksmithing trade something we think of as 150 years ago?
It was kind of a fantasy of mine, thinking I was going to become a famous artist and make a good living at it, which I have. It's all starting to come.
So you had a fantasy of becoming the great blacksmith of the 21st century.
That's right.
So who is your favorite mythological god?
Mythological god?
Yes. There's only one answer to that question.
Well, we got Vulcan.
Vulcan, that's right. Now, tell me about Vulcan.
Vulcan? I don't know much about Vulcan. I know he was an ugly guy that nobody liked, and I think Aphrodite gave him a chance. I don't know if it was his mother. What do you know about mythology?
But he was a great blacksmith. He was the great blacksmith of all times.
That's right.
So you might become the Vulcan of the 21st century.
Right.
So why don't you show me a couple of the pieces here and tell me something about it.
This is a dragon here, a new piece. Me and my father designed this year. And he's a fire tool set.
He's a fire tool set.
Yeah, this was an inspiration.
Now, what does that mean, a fire tool? Oh, I see.
Fire tool accessories. This is a hand forged fork.
Oh, look at that.
All soft cornered.
Soft cornered.
Soft cornered means that these corners of the block of the steel have been taken off with the hammer.
So that way you won't hurt yourself when you touch this?
Not only to hurt yourself, but the
looks better.
Natural hammering gives it a beautiful hand feel to it. As you can tell, it's rounded off and then flattened here.
Wow.
And it just has a great, authentic medieval hand feel to it.
So is the dragon kind of your signature? Is that would that be fair to say?
The dragon, we feel, gives us good luck and is a symbol of the fire-breathing dragon, people think. And I've always just admired dragons, seen old masters like Samuel Yellin.
Like who?
Samuel Yellin.
Samuel Yellin. Now, who is Samuel Yellin?
Samuel Yellin was the greatest American blacksmith. He was born in the late 1800s and died in the 1940s. And he had a shop that boomed in the 1920s. He had over 200 blacksmiths working for him.
That's a lot of blacksmiths.
He did a lot of historical work, a lot of the Ivy League schools in the Colonial states back east, in the eastern shoreboard. He did the New York Federal Reserve Bank.
Well, some good accounts.
Good stuff. Washington Memorial he did.
Gee, what did he do? Like that little top piece?
Gates.
Oh, the gates of the Washington Memorial.
The Washington Cathedral. Huge church, beautiful gates, just decorative grill work.
Now, would he be your hero or role model, or is there someone else even more esteemed than he?
No,
he would be.
He's my idol.
He would be the one.
I admire him for being able to be such a skillful craftsman, but to be able to deal with the people in the sense of being able to.
What, is it ever hard to deal with customers? Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Oh, breaking news here.
The love of the work.
So is it sometimes hard to make these people happy? When you spend hours and hours banging on something, you've come up with something fantastic, and then they say, that's not exactly what I was thinking of.
A lot of times the difficulty with people is because of the lack of their education of the craft. And that's why we come out to try to educate people so they can see the difference and know why they are spending more money for what it is. One of the biggest questions I ask people when they come to my booth and when they want to buy stuff from me for their house is I ask them, do you plan to live in this house for a long time or maybe a lifetime, or are you planning to sell it next year? If you're planning to sell it next year,
bye-bye.
See the door, goodbye. We're looking for people that love their houses, love detail, and are willing to pay good money for it.
So, you know how I know of you? I know of you before I knew of you because I saw your work would pop up in various places, and they told me about you. So what are some of the places and some of the shows where people might see your work?
Some of the shows would be right here at the Golden California Antique Show.
This one I kind of knew. How about another one?
Okay, well, next show we're going to be at is in San Diego at the Style 1900 show.
The Style 1900 show in San Diego.
That's correct.
Is Soho putting that on, or?
Actually, I'm sorry, it's a Century of Styles.
Century. Oh, you're going to.
Yeah,
you're going to go to the Del Mar Fairgrounds, the Century of Styles, to Mike's show.
Exactly. So we're going to be doing that show this year. This was the first year we did not do the Arts and Crafts show in San Francisco. We didn't do it this year.
Oh, I bet Penelope's happy about that.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed, but we had a tremendous amount of custom work this year from some of our customers.
I see.
And it was just a little bit too much over.
But if you didn't have as much work, you would have gone to Penelope's show.
Probably so.
You see, Penelope, he still loves you.
Oh, absolutely. We love Penelope. She's been a sweetheart. She was one of the people that let us into her show when other people were only allowing antiques in the show.
I see.
She saw the quality of our
Sure.
work. And she had a vision like we did, knowing that this is the future antiques.
Sure.
This stuff after we're gone is going to be held by other dealers.
That's right.
Stuff again. And in today's society where things are being imported from China in a throwaway society, I feel privileged to know that my pieces are going to survive and people are going to be cherishing them in their homes.
Oh, and how do we get in touch with you? Your phone number or your website?
Is 909-469-0770.
Or
our website
is
BouchersandSon.com. That's BUSHEREANDSON.com. We prefer email, definitely. It's the best thing because our shop is very loud. And during the days, we can't hear the phone, so we always prefer email, and we always get back to our customers on the problem.